Okay, Paul, we're picking this up. This is served to you. In that next game, I skipped over Daniels. I like this play, this little slice and come in. I think technically it can be improved a little bit. I can only see so much from this angle, but I will tell you this, that the racket face should not be in that position at that point. You would want the bottom edge in front of the top edge, so you'd want the racket kind of leaning out like that. I don't know if that makes any sense. The top edge of your racket is leading, right? And I would want the bottom edge leaning on a slice. So what that means is at some point in the stroke, you're going and turning your wrist, and I want your wrist to stay quiet. And if that doesn't make any sense to you, just ask, and I'll show you in one of the lessons. But I do like the play. I just think it needs to be executed a little better. And just a first volley back to Daniel. Try to play the first volley cross court. This is really where I struggle, right? Like, I should be on this ball, and I just kind of sit back passively. I play a terrible volley here. I just get really stiff, pop the ball up, right? Just a sitting duck. Somehow I think we win this point, so I just keep grinding. Way to move to the middle. It's a way to shade. Okay, right here. I have a ball above the level of the net. I'm going to try and play it at you, down at your feet, like we've been talking about. Even if we don't win the point right then, hopefully we get the next ball, right? And I play this one, kind of pop this up. See, you got really nice instincts moving up. You're already moving into that ball much more aggressively than I am. I think what happened was you got a little on it a little too quick, right? And I think right there, you had to do absolutely nothing with that volley to win, and I think you just flicked at it, right? So then the ball sails out. So that's we really want to get that hand quiet. And the other thing too is there is a slight footwork issue here with your timing. So you're on your front foot, your weight's already transferred, and you kind of don't have anywhere else to go forward with your body. So your last source of power is going to be this flick, and I think that's what gets the ball to sail. See, in theory, you should be loaded on that right foot, right? And you shouldn't be landing on this left foot until you strike the ball, but you've already landed, so you're kind of off balance here, and you just use the right foot to add a little pop. Or I'm sorry, you use the hand to add a little pop and wind up sailing it long. But really good instincts going forward. Just need to add a little calmness to that volley. Maybe just try and keep it low. I think on this ad side, every time I swing it out to your backhand, the play needs to really, be kind of angling the angle. If I go really, really wide, that's how I kind of went body, and so you tried to kind of force too much angle. It wasn't quite there and missed it wide. Another option too is to lob there, lob Matt, and just see how good his overheads are. God, how many returns am I going to miss? I just missed so many returns. There really wasn't a great. Well, there really wasn't a lot of great tennis to be played, but that's okay. I mean, that gives us a lot to look at and work on. Really, really, think you should kind of test my volleys there. Don't worry so much about me going to the center. Just aim to hit it low. I missed this. Yep. That was good, though. Good instincts coming forward. I like to play the ball, going back on that play off of the return. I don't know, maybe you can do some of this in your own game, but if I get a weak second serve, I always like to test the net player, and even if I don't win the point right off the bat, just testing the reflexes. To me, I get a sitter right here. Didn't quite do enough with it. And it wasn't quite a sitter. He did push me back a little bit. But here, that's the wrong play. I take that back. I don't know if that's the wrong play. I mean, I say it's the wrong play. Your ball dipped really quickly. So if he could have just somehow taken the ball above the level of the net, I mean, to me, the play is here, right? I mean, look at that gap, right? Daniel is way out of position right here. I mean, he's just like nowhere to be found, right? But Matt kind of lets that, and this is where, like, I think, double shot's got to improve, because he just kind of sits there, lets that volley get really low, and makes this a much more difficult shot, right? And now, you've got this kind of open court. Yeah, this is a good close. Honestly, yeah, I think the play there, and it's so easy, right, when you watch it back on this. But I think the play probably would have been to just play it straight ahead there, but you played the angle, right? And then I just dumped this backhand volley. It looks up. I remember going up to that thing and feeling like I had so many options, and I was gonna whip this like incredible shot, and I totally dumped it in the net. Anyway, let's keep going. Bad error. Bad error. Again, testing him. Yeah, I mean, I think we really got what we wanted out of that. I'm really comfortable pulling the ball from that position. Daniel popped it up. I think Matt's just really casual here. Again, I think the play winds up being, like I said, most of the time right up the center of that court. But he's going, back to you at that point. I think he's just a little too nervous about Daniel coming across. But so many times the answer is just middle, right? I mean, you ask the question of where to go, and the answer is, almost always middle. And yeah, of course, on certain returns and things like that, you can't always go right up the middle of the court, but on a lot of these net plays and stuff, you just keep it low up the middle, and stuff will start to open up. Okay, pick it up here in your service return. You hit a really nice return here. Just keep it really low, and I just, I made the same mistake that Matt did earlier, but ultimately that play falls on Matt, right? Like, it's the server's responsibility to be ready for all first volleys. In case the net player thinks he can make a play and then can't, just like I kind of made the mistake earlier. I think that one, even though I should have gotten it, I think that ultimately falls on the server. Way to look for it, Paul. Way to look for it. You got a really nice aggressive mindset at the net. I think it's just a matter of actually at the hit being a little bit calmer. At the point of contact, I think you move forward really well. I think your instincts are really good. So you seem to be in position, a pretty decent amount of the time. Yeah, it's not a bad play, though. You barely missed that ball. Every once in a while, it's all right to pull that shot if you feel good about it. Daniel kind of left you hanging there. That's pretty funny. I think that comes down to your chest getting turned a little more, just like on that other play. You know, you're slowing it down. You actually had a pretty decent turn. I think at the end, and we'll go over this in the lesson, your front shoulder should stay turned, so the whole time you shouldn't be opening up. The ball's just too far away for you to open up, so you know, we'll go over that technique. I really shouldn't see shouldn't be able to read your t-shirt that whole return. It's a little different than hitting a standard backhand, where of course you want to rotate. Daniel burned him there. And that was a terrible volley. If you look at this volley that Daniel hit, you know, we can kind of learn from everybody here. But if you look back at this volley Daniel hit, like, just look at how extreme, you know, when we talk about, like, look at where his racket starts, just, you know, big swing, and then look how far down it goes. So he's got just a lot of action on that. I mean, so big take back, wide open racket, and the racket, you know, he just kind of dumps it. Like on this one, he's really got to keep his racket up. He just drops it way too much. There's just way too much arm movement on that difficult of a ball. So anyway. So picking this up in Daniel's service game. Yeah, so let's go back. Watch that again. Watch what happened. I mean, that was a pretty tough ball. I think maybe there's just a little too much just movement overall. So see how much your feet had to get out of the way there, so how much jumping and, you know, racket work you're trying to do to manipulate the ball. I think just being really quiet and just staying really still here. And, you know, if you feel good, you play the ball at my feet. If it stays above the level of the net, if it gets below the level of the net, you can just play it back at Matt. Or just play maybe a drop volley there towards Matt's side of the court. But the key there is keeping everything much quieter. Rackets up.